Welcome to Dopeish, everyone in TV and internet land. Today, we have a real superhero on the show, and as you can see, I'm a big ass nerd and I like superheroes. And today, we have DATMAN.
How's everyone doing?
Go ahead and introduce yourself to everyone.
My name is DATMAN Superhero. I'm your local social justice superhero, here to inform everybody of their rights and how to protect themselves in this corrupt judicial system.
Alright, so what made you become a superhero?
Well, things I came into in my own life when it came to coming with the justice system: corrupt cops, unjust judges, and being on the other side of the bench is not a fun thing to be. You know, looking up at that judge and knowing that this man has every right to do whatever he wants to do, and you not knowing your rights and how to protect yourself. And being in those situations, seeing many others in that same seat, you know, not knowing what to do, where to go, who to get help from, I believe that, you know, there was a call that I needed to answer, something that needed to be done about it. Somebody to call these judges, these lawyers into account, these dirty cops into account. And through injustice, I was forged.
So you're a different type of superhero.
Yeah, you know, I'm not, you know, jumping from the ceiling, you know, from the rooftops, or, you know, not throwing any batarangs. I do have my, you know,
you have your own arsenal. Yeah, yes,
I do. You know, my biggest arsenal is my heart, you know, because I care, and that's why I'm doing this. Also in the arsenal, I have my knowledge, you know, being able to spread this knowledge to others so they can better protect themselves, you know, and leaving myself open for those to communicate with in case they need information, I need guidance, and, you know, traversing the dirty waters of the judicial system. Mm-hmm. And also, you know, one of my favorite words to use is agape, and that's unconditional love. But that doesn't mean I'm a pushover. I believe in tough love. So I do have my arsenal as, you know, for self-defense purposes, you know, in case I am in a situation where I will have to defend myself.
Right.
I do go into, you know, questionable neighborhoods from time to time,
mm-hmm.
and to, you know, get the word out there, to get myself known in the area, and to promote, you know, knowledge in our areas on the subject. As far as the gimmick, you know, my colors and everything, that I chose these colors specifically because they resemble jail colors, the orange and the green.
Okay.
For a lot of people, they're incarcerated and unjustified, mm-hmm. you know, and they're sitting here, their lives are wasting away, and I wear these colors, and, you know, remember to hold, pay homage to those men and women who are sitting in jail unjustly, you
right.
know, where the justice system has failed them, and we see time and time again where the justice system has failed, and I mean, the Kyle Rittenhouse situation. You have the Florida woman that, you know, defended herself by shooting the house just to protect herself from domestic violence that she's doing 20 years. You know, there's a lot of situations where people are, you know, thrown into jail because they don't have money. And right. being broke doesn't mean guilty. But.
So what was the toughest battle DATMAN had to face so far?
Well, that battle's coming.
Oh,
it hasn't happened yet. You know, I'm still fresh out of here, still trying to, you know, build a following. One of our first battles will be what I like to consider protest as my battles. You know, and that first battle will be protesting in front of the courthouse.
Okay.
Don't know what is going to happen. Don't know how those law enforcement will respond to me being in the gear. Mm-hmm. But it's my First Amendment right to be able to protest, and I will do so. I have notified the courts that I will. I haven't told them when, but I have told them I would be out there.
Okay.
So they have been put on notice.
So you've taken the necessary steps to protect yourself in case anything violent erupts.
Yes. If I do happen to be accosted by the police, you know, I would try to, you know, de-escalate the situation the best of my ability. Mm-hmm. Like I said, I'm not a pushover.
Right.
You know, in my past, I have fought the cops before and came out on top. And in this situation that caused me to put on the cowl, you know, the mask to, you know, face down this injustice that most men are, you know, are facing during this time, is due to the injustices that I face by the hands of officers.
Do you believe that injustice has, how should I say this? Do you believe that injustice looks for or is aimed at certain races, or is injustice just equal amongst everyone?
No, that's a heavy question. As time has progressed, you know, more and more has it been directed more towards the pocket. You know, those impoverished, those who are not able to defend themselves, those who are ignorant of their rights and their laws are affected.
So it's not just a black and white thing anymore.
I do believe it comes down to that person's you know, personal interaction and who they come across. If you come across a racist officer, you are dealing with a racist situation. Right. You know, if you're dealing with, you know, well, if you would consider blue a race, if they back in the blue, if these officers are back in the blue to the utmost,
right? And or if you're dealing with an incompetent officer, yes, then
you're dealing with these situations,
right?
When it comes down to those white citizens that are accosted by the police, it is a situational situation. I mean, you could be dealing with a racist black officer in that situation, and so I never want to make it one way or the other. I'm a person when it comes to, I like to look at balance, and when I look at it that way, it's from all areas. You know, you have racism in areas and you don't. So I never want to choose one way or the other. But I think the problem needs to be fixed regardless of where it stems from. And by focusing on one or the other, you're missing people in the gaps. So by focusing on it all as a whole is what I like to focus on.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right. So do you believe the saying that all cops are bad?
No, but I always ask that classic question to any officer, you know, or do you consider yourself a good cop? And most officers would sit there and say yes. And the next question I ask them is, how many bad cops have you arrested? Mm-hmm. How many bad cops have you stopped from breaking the law before they did? You know, and you know, you pretty much get the answer, I haven't. I have yet to hear an officer say he's arrested another officer. Now, I never asked them if they ever wrote tickets. Another officer. That more likely happens. You know what I'm saying? From time to time. But even then, you know, it's very scarce. But it's like, you know, when it comes down to, you know, good officers, I have met good officers. You know, and even if they haven't arrested bad officers, you know, I don't want to damn them because they didn't have the courage to do so.
Right.
You know, and I'm hoping me, being a regular citizen, putting on a uniform, will encourage them to do what's right, to stand up and hold true to their own code of conduct, their oaths that they took to protect and serve.
Absolutely. Do you believe that the problem where that injustice lies, do you believe it stems from the cops, or do you believe it's the courts? Who's at fault, or at both at fault?
I believe they're both at fault. It's an organism that is grown in power. And from the days of, you know, from slavery, Jim Crow laws, you know, and how the police were band together, mm-hmm, they were put together by the courts. Right. You know, and they are now transversed to a monster all on their own, you know, to where the courts are even in situations are scared to do anything about it. You know, you're scared into, oh, if we don't have any cops, we're going to have anarchy and craziness all over the world, you know what I'm saying? And I don't believe that. You know, so I believe the good in this world does outweigh the bad. And I believe that when it comes down to it, as long as we have justices that are willing to pursue these cases to the utmost, and calling the officers into account to make sure they're doing their jobs, then we have no problem. You know, these officers do have to answer to a higher power.
Right. You know? And you feel as though that right now the mindset of a police officer or even a judge, that they don't believe that there's anybody that they have to answer to.
Right now they answer to the bottom dollar, their bottom line. When it comes to, you know, their coffers being filled, making sure they got their paychecks, that's what they care about. You know, as soon as they see that deficit going down, like their coffers getting low, they're going out there filling what they call the quota. You know, that doesn't exist.
Yeah, all cops say that the quota doesn't exist. They all say that.
And it's in these situations where we have money rules the nation. You know, in these situations where that's the thing that needs to be stopped. You know, them glorifying money and putting money over, you know, people's heads, and when it comes to these legal situations.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Money is the, how they say, the root of all evil.
Yes.
Do you think, as a superhero, what are your what's the word I'm looking for? Your weakness, yeah. What's your weakness?
What would be my weakness?
Yeah.
Would be financing.
Financing. So you're no Batman.
I'm no Batman. I'm no Batman. I most definitely need the charity of those in the area, in the community. I would plan on putting a GoFundMe and
well, I mean, the same way the citizens pay taxes and those taxes pay the cops.
Yes.
The citizens should have something to pay for the people that are going to protect us from people like the cops and the judges.
Yeah.
And right now, you're the only one.
Yes. I'm hoping to put a team together.
So you're looking.
I do want to put a team together. I do want to have people in certain areas and have different expertise in certain areas. Computer programmer, you know, certain things that, you know, for various reasons.
That every superhero team has.
You need to have your team. You know what I'm saying?
There's you know, without Alfred there would be no Batman.
True.
You know, so you need your Alfred. You know, you need your.
Trying to put my DAT crew together.
Yeah.
The DAT gang.
Yes.
I haven't settled on the name though yet, so. But I am looking for some you know, brave men and women, and you know, even young children, you know what I'm saying, that want to get involved in this early and want to do a part. This is a movement that is already known in the United States, and most people don't know about them. They're called the real life superheroes of America.
I've heard of them, yeah.
And they are also the part of the superhero initiative in the United States, where there is a grant that if you are, you know, doing any kind of work such as, you know, voluntary. You know, this is considered voluntary or vigilantism, as most people like to say, or charity that I'll be doing. That the government does compensate you for that, and that's the superhero initiative that they enacted in I want to say 2002.
So the government acknowledges and appreciates
the work done by superheroes in the area. There's a lot of famous superheroes out there, from the Vixen to Phoenix Jones, and they walk around. They do pretty much, you know, soup kitchens, feeding the homeless, giving supplies to those on the street, helping breaking up bar fights. Phoenix Jones is known for getting more active in the community by being in areas, high drug areas, to deter drug sales and calling, you know, and would make calls to police. A lot of superheroes have done that. Like to name another, which is one of the tech guys in the RSL, that's Zimmerman. You know, they call him Zero, and he makes a lot of gadgets for a lot of the superheroes in his area, and he has a lot of impressive ones. I've actually been friends with Malicious Angel for years before I decided to put on the scowl. You know, and Malicious Angel and DATMAN. So these are some of the more, I would say, eccentric superheroes out there. They get a little bit more hands dirty in the streets.
Are you hoping to? Are you going to be at that level one day?
At my age, at this point in time, do I think I need to be tussling in the street with the fight? No, not if I don't have to.
Nah.
You know, my battle is with the system right now. And
I mean, that's where the battle should be. I mean, if we want to change something, it's the
Yes.
system that we need to start at.
Exactly. And if any one of my compatriots that wanted to join up decide to be that one to, you know, stop the dealing in their neighborhoods, And, you know, by all means, I encourage, you know what I'm saying, you know. Of course, I am a heavy advocate for weed, you know, so I do smoke myself. So I don't, you know, consider that as anything that anybody should be worried about. But for any harder drugs, you know, they're ruining lives out here.
Right.
You know, there's most definitely should be somebody out there to take on that task. And I'm hoping that, you know, that each person that comes in, I'm hoping to find somebody that deals with domestic violence. You know, ones that deal with poverty. You know, and you know, because there's these things that there's somebody cared out there. These things can be stopped. If not all, but at least some. You can have an impact on people's lives nowadays.
Absolutely. I mean, this is a very heroic thing you're doing.
Thank you.
You don't come across a lot of people that's willing to put themselves at risk for their community and for a good cause. You're not asking for anything. You're doing this for the people.
Yes.
You know, you're not even doing it for yourself. You're doing it for the people. And
exactly.
That right there is it makes you a true hero at the end of the day. So as far as villains are concerned, your villains, it is the courts.
Yes.
The judges, the DA.
Yep.
Those are the villains that
and
you're
court-appointed attorneys that don't do their job.
Absolutely, yeah. Yep. Those are the villains you face every day.
And the jail system. You know,
yes, you can't forget about that.
I have many times had to call up there. I have been incarcerated before. I've been on the other side of the bars. You know, so I've been, you know, in these situations where the living situations are deplorable. You know, you're sitting here asking for, you know, clean water to drink, and you're looked down on. You know, and you're sitting there waiting to go to court. You're not even found guilty yet.
Right.
You know, sitting there on a bond because you are unable to pay. You're sitting there. But even if you are found guilty, you shouldn't still be sat in these situations. And unhealthy, unclean living environments. And it's just, you know, something has to be done on all levels of the justice system.
Right.
Yep. And as you said, it's like, you know, it's like in these situations when you're dealing with coming out with, you know, to make a change, there's going to be all sorts of opposition.
Absolutely.
And I'm ready to face that.
All right. Well, there you have it, people. We have DATMAN Superhero, and he's here to save the day. You know, if you need any help and you're facing, you know, this crooked justice system, this is the man to come to. This is the man to come see.
By all means, if you have a situation where you want to bring the light, contact me. I can give you the information you need, point you in the right directions. If you feel like you have an attorney that's not doing their job, showing you how you need to communicate that to the state bar. You know, if you have a judge that you believe is conducting proceedings improperly, how to make complaints to the Judiciary Board, Review Commission. Anything that you need to know, paperwork and how you go about getting it. If you're locked up, how you can get your hands on the 1983 form, which is how you sue in situations of misconduct when it comes to the incarceration.
Okay.
So
there's a lot of things that I've never heard about any of those things. I didn't know they existed.
They don't want you to know. I mean, there's a lot of things that are available to us that they do not let us know. And I'll be willing to offer that information to anybody that wants to, you know, free of charge, to come and, you know, improve themselves, you know, and build their knowledge to better protect themselves and their loved ones.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, thank you for coming on the show today. You are and I'm a big nerd, and this is awesome. I have my first superhero on the show today. This is awesome. This will be a memorable day.
Well, I'm not going to take you flying through the sky.
Darn it. Alright, well, thank you for coming on the show. Guys, please, DATMAN in your neighborhood, your friendly neighborhood superhero right here. Peace.
Agape.